Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are advised that the following program contains images and voices of people who have died.
Tag20 rugby is it's a form of sevens rugby, non-contact, based around rugby union and rugby league.
Tag really evolved from the game of flag football, which really started in the US in the 1930s.
Tag20 is a lot different from any of your other games in the fact that it's a lot faster. The rules are a lot different as well. It's more based around rugby sevens.
What has happened is we've looked at the game and the original game that we've played, and we thought there's an opportunity to grow and develop the sport in many different aspects in many different areas. So what has happened is we've now evolved into Tag20 rugby.
Tag20 is a hybrid sport. It's based on rugby sevens and rugby league sevens. And it's also got a lot of aspects of different other games. It's got a lot of kicking. So you can kind of say it's, you know, because we kick it forward and side, it's a bit, you could say it's a bit like AFL as well, because we've got those three zones that you've got to kick it to.
I think this game allows more for our natural raw skill because it doesn't sort of hold back.
With Seventh Rugby debuting at the Olympics in Brazil, well, I mean, there's an opportunity there for people to be a part of the sport.
Well, this is our first international cup. There has been past Pacific Cups, but this is the first international one, and it's the first time in Australia as well.
It was now time to take it internationally, across and outside, and so we decided that Australia, obviously, great sporting community and outdoors people and good at league and rugby.
The land that we're on today is Carrara, Gold Coast, which is the traditional owners of the land of the Cumberry, which is based from, pretty sure it's from pretty much the border of New South Wales and Queensland, up to just near Brisbane.
Long time in organising, a lot gone into it, a lot of people involved in it, heads of nations, you know, of all the countries that have been fantastic.
Here's an opportunity, let's see what we can do, and you know, at the same token we're in a position where we've put things into the game where we started with one idea and it just grew into another thing, and really just not, most of the people have a rugby or a league background. We're now, you know, standing in an AFL ground here, we've got aspects of AFL through the kicking, we've got a soccer aspect here, we've got, you know, the ability to hurling and all the things there. So all those sports have something that we looked at and thought, well, let's see if we can introduce it without getting away from the essence of the game, which was to run, kick and, you know, pass the ball.
Everybody had ideas, and we put all these ideas together and we've come up with this product that I feel is just, it's awesome. You know, the way you can kick the ball, you can chip over the shoulders, you can, yeah, just the diversity in the game, you know, the scoring system, and what I like about it, it's different.
We've taken all the rules and all the different aspects of lots of games and put them into Tag20 Rugby to allow an athlete of any ability, you know, high level, recreational, so on, to have an opportunity to play a sport where they can challenge themselves, they can be challenged, and at the same time have a good time. So that's what we're after.
There's a large contingent of nations playing, one being New Zealand Maoris, Australia, Indigenous Australia, large contingent from Niue, Samoa and Fiji, followed by the Cook Islands.
We progressed, basically developed another sport. We saw that Kiwi tag, although it was good for the time, wasn't particularly suiting, I suppose, the playing population of our game, which is, the playing population of our game is mainly Polynesians, and we wanted a game that could highlight the flair and the skill ability and that natural ability that they play with. So we developed the sport of Tag20.
I think the game is made for the Indigenous, to be honest, with their flair and their speed. A game that they can dominate against in our infancy, you know, and we're looking to grow, especially with the Indigenous side of things, because we know the talent that they've got out there, the raw talent, so it's made for them, we believe.
It really allows for players to step out of their comfort zone and really show off what their talents are, and you know, sort of in league and that, you don't get to see that as much, and same with touch as well, because you get to see what they can do with pretty much every aspect of the game, and you know, the kicking game, the running game, the passing game, and you know, you can really see some raw natural talent coming out, and they get to really show off what their talents are.
It's a 3-day event, 2 days of rounds, with the third day being finals, semis and finals.
So it's a 7-a-side game with 10-minute halves, so it's a 20-minute game.
Key rules of Tag20 would be, well, one, tagging, which basically, instead of tackling, you make a tag.
Once you make a tag, you cannot promote it sideways or behind them, and you've got to clear the ruck and stand and wait for the player to come back, and he or she will play the ball backwards. The dummy half will pick it up, and then everybody from the defensive line can move in. A defending player decides to chuck the tag to one side or chuck it further back, then it becomes a penalty.
A bit different to rugby and rugby league. What we have is we have a 3-point scoring zone, which is much like if you were to score between the posts. And outside of that zone, it's a 2-point scoring zone.
What we've tried to do is keep the ball in play as much as possible, so the game isn't over just when the try is scored. The teams that's been scored against have to react quickly, and they've got the opportunity to get the ball back in play as quick as possible to catch the other side out.
From try scoring, it's got to go to the 20-metre line. You've got 4 seconds to start, and then it's any form of kick from there on.
What makes our game different is that you have an option. You can drop kick it from the kick-off, you can also put a bomb up, or you can kick it off the ground. It's your choice.
What we've done, we have 4 tackles only, so it's a 4th and final. What it does do, because there's an element of kicking in the game, that what we're trying to eliminate, that if you sort of muck around with the ball for the first 2, you've actually you've only really got 2 left.
The 20-20 rule, if you kick and it goes, if you kick inside your 20 and it goes outside of their 20, then it becomes you repossess the ball and you restart at the middle with attack.
The roll ball in Tag20, you've got the option. You can roll it between your legs like in touch football, or you can roll it as the same way as you do in rugby league.
For kick, over a player in the last line of defence, you can repossess it and go and continue on your way down. If there's a defender in front, he has all rights. But if it bounces, then it's game on, it's rock and roll.
This is the first event of this kind in sort of 20 odd years where people have come from different parts of the Pacific in this case, and people from around Australia have come together and are participating in international tournament.
A lot of the higher profile sports, you play for established countries like New Zealand in your sport or Australia in your sport. In the development of this sport, we wanted them to play for their country first.
Universally, collectively, getting together as Indigenous people.
Each nation now is very much competitive in its own right, and people are sort of recognising, yep, I want to play for my respective nation of heritage.
And it's fantastic to see them choosing their own jersey.
And the ability to recognise who they are and where you come from, and the opportunity to show it on the field and through culture is something we wanted to develop.
Go, 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 go,
My name's Lucia Basilio. We're here with the Samoa Tag teams. We take anything, we take every opportunity just to get together and just have a laugh. We've brought over 5 teams. Definitely the team to be watching out for is Australia. Yep, probably Australia and New Zealand at the moment for us. For PI nations, we just find it's more of a family culture, so just, yeah, we take any opportunity just to have a good old mock, a laugh, and yeah, keep fit at the same time.
Oiloto, Samoa!
My name is Nathaniel Matuku, and I'm from Fiji. We got 3 teams competing in this competition. It's pretty important getting the community together. We were invited from New Zealand, Tag20. So we had a Pacific tournament last year, and we were qualified to come here for this international cup tournament. It's a great opportunity for getting everybody from Fiji together. Yan mulu menaka ayo netan les meki matuku mulu matuku mai bichi menaka.
Kia orana, my name is Andrew Uti. I'm the representative for the Cook Islands at the Tag20 tournament here in the Gold Coast. We just have the one side competing in the open men's. We're trying to build on it, so hopefully our next tournament we'll be able to get more teams in here. You know, it's something where our people can come along and play against other nations, Samoa, Fiji, Niue, and good for our people to come out here, have a run, you know, keep fit, stay strong. Yeah, very important. You always got to watch out for Samoans. I believe they've brought like 4 teams per grade, as well as the Niueans. They've got a very strong side this year. So, yeah, and always your Aussies and your Kiwis. You can't go past those fellas. To all our Cook Island people, get on board. If you've got some very talented players or just guys who just want to come along and jam, just, yeah, send me an email. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Gus Tumalu, representing New Zealand. New Zealand has probably about 5 teams. An event like this is very important. There's thousands of people here today. You know, we've got nations like Samoa, Niue, Fiji, Cook Islands, Indigenous Australia, and obviously New Zealand and New Zealand Māoris. So there's quite a few nations involved. Talofa lava, like more Gus Tumalu. I represent all the New Zealand 30s, if they love it.
My name is Graham Fafuti.
the actual president of New Air Tag Association Incorporated. We've actually got 5 teams, community and the culture and actually the game itself. Just being part of the community, being representing New Air itself, just honouring to be part of New Air and where your heritage comes from. I wouldn't get the opportunities coming from New Air, but coming from New Zealand and Australia, you do get those opportunities. I love the young ones, which is quite good because it's all about development for the game itself and also for New Air. The thing with Mahaka is it's a tradition, takalo, what they call the takalo, starting back from New Air itself. It's all about showing your emotions and your actions of our forefathers when they came from New Air itself, more or less protecting the island when Captain Cook came through. It's all about protecting the island, and the war dance, the takalo is all about what happened those times. We ain't gonna have a great fafusi, so gonna be on naked, those again more on naked, for where late.
My name is Ben Travers. I'm from the Bundjalung people from Tweed, from the Tweed region, and my role has been so far with the mob is captain coach of the Indigenous Australian men's team. I'm looking forward to playing against New Zealand. New Zealand's probably the team to beat. They've been pretty hard, and I'm looking forward to playing the other Australian sides as well. So I've been watching them train and stuff. So they've been looking pretty tough and looking sharp as well. So it should be interesting. We've got a couple from Tweed, from Ballina. We've got one here from Wiradjuri as well, from Wiradjuri mob. And yeah, we've got a couple from up north as well, and pretty much all over. So it's good to see everybody coming together and you know, getting together and playing some tag. The players' backgrounds are pretty mixed. So we've got a couple of league players, we've got a couple of touch. Some of them have come from OzTag as well. Some of them it's the first time playing any sort of tag football. So this is completely new for them. They've really surprised me, and they're doing really well, but I think that's just natural talent that they've got. So it's that raw natural talent, which is good. The importance of this is it really allows for us to showcase our talents. It allows for us to sort of get out there on the international scale and show who we are. The importance of this sort of event for our community and our Indigenous people is it allows for us to showcase our talents and let us get out there and really showcase who we are as a people, and you know, it really allows for young people when we start developing it more and really getting a bit more scale and sort of getting more people out there. It'll allow for younger people to come through and really start showing off who they are and get them into that, you know, great world of sport and get them out, get them fit, get them active, and really, you know, get involved in the game and get involved on the international scale.
Every nation brings their own style to the game, which makes the game very enjoyable.
And you'll get to see nations that probably wouldn't traditionally play each other in any sport, let alone, you know, there's an opportunity for them to do it in Tag20 rugby.
What it does is just it levels the playing field. And when you say who can win this comp, today anybody can win this comp.
The first of the finals to take place was the men's plate final. The match consisted of the bottom half of the men's division draw. The game was played between Indigenous Australia and Australia. It was always going to be a tight match, with Australia beating the Indigenous Australian side by 1 in the pool games. Both sides played it safe in the opening minutes of the final, with the Indigenous Australian side looking to open up the tight Australian defence. Indigenous Australia were the first to strike with a nice play down the line. The second try soon followed after a superb individual effort. After some constant pressure, Australia finally struck back. But just as Australia was gaining momentum, the Indigenous side scored a cracker from inside their own half. They went to the break leading by 6. All the pressure on the Australians, the game looked to be wrapped up shortly after the start of the second half, when the Indigenous side crossed for a 3-pointer. But then a couple of lapses in defence resulting in 2 quick tries had the Australians back in the game. Another try to the Aussies had them in front for the first time in the match. But the Indigenous side rallied to take back the lead with only minutes remaining. Captain Ben Travers was delighted with his team's deadly win.
It was a bit up and down, and we come away with the win, and I think just at the last sort of like 2 minutes we come away with the try and put us in front, which was brilliant. So it was good with that win, and Australia Green put in a really good effort, and full credit to them, and look forward to seeing them again in the Pacific Nations.
It means so much just for all our people, our culture, and playing here on the Gold Coast. It's spiritual ground and that.
The next match to take place was the women's finals, played between New Zealand and Samoa. Some crafty play by the New Zealand number 20 got the ball rolling. This soon followed. New Zealand leading by 5 going into the break. The unexpected halftime entertainment came Samoan style. New Zealand weren't distracted by the halftime entertainment, picking up where they left off. A textbook move from number 12 proved the difference. An unselfish pass left a mountain to climb for Samoa. But with some silky skills and a turn of pace, Samoa were back in the game. New Zealand showing their skill set and handing off to their captain for the finishing touches. New Zealand winning the match 9-2.
It's good to come to another country and play different people. You know, you're playing for your country, and you just got to be proud of that, and everyone goes hard when they come out, to another country. It's awesome.
Samoa kicked off the Masters final with the traditional Siva towel. But Australia weren't rattled, pouncing on an early mistake. Samoa responding, exposing a hole in Australia's defence. Some razzle-dazzle led to this next try. on confidence, the Samoa flair continued. Australia responded immediately in the second half. A chip and chase had the game within reach. It doesn't get much closer to the line than this. The try awarded to the Australian side. With Samoa tiring, Australia's confidence soared, taking advantage of the extra point rule to put them in the lead. The game looked to be wrapped up after an individual piece of brilliance. But the defence was just as good. However, the defence couldn't keep the Aussies at bay. This for the win. The Australian side walking away with the victory 13-6. The Aussies wrapped with the result.
It was good. It was good. It was very tight in the first half. I think it was 6-5 there at half time. We didn't let any tries in the second half and ended up winning the game. So we went over to New Zealand start of the year, went through undefeated and lost the final. This time we went through undefeated and won the final. So it's a good turnaround for us. Look, I guess the sport's still in infancy in Australia. Very much so. There's a couple of coast comps here on the coast, one or two in Sydney now as well. So we're trying to grow that. A lot of the guys in our team are new to the sport, but from a football background, and we had a couple of big names in Preston Campbell and Scotty Sattler pull out during the week, so it would have been great to have those boys on board to give a bit more profile for the sport in Australia.
In what was to be a trend, Samoa kicked off the Premier's final with the Siva Toll. Samoa stretching the New Zealand side early, using the full width of the pitch to open the scoring. New Zealand hit back immediately. A crafty grubber and favourable bounce gave them the lead. Sending it through the hands, Samoa levelled the scores. This pretty play put Samoa back up just after the break. From the kickoff, Samoa struck again. An unfavourable bounce was the only thing stopping another certain try. But New Zealand weren't about to throw in the towel, with one of the veterans driving his team forward. A try from the resulting play of the ball put the Kiwis back in the match. But it was all a little too late. The Samoans taking out the Premier's division 12-5. Samoa celebrating in a rather interesting way.
just played the final against New Zealand, and it was such an awesome game. Full credit to the opposition for the challenge they put forward to us. It's been a demanding 3 days, but full credit to our team and our support staff, all the coaches and crew. But top effort to the boys. It was quite a good game. Very demanding. It represents everything, means everything to us. A lot of us come from back home and representing a lot of brothers who can't be here with us, but it's a long way to come. And sort of plays a lot of pride behind this jersey. It's a lot of hard work and sweat, tears and blood that goes into it as well. So we play on behalf of our parents, our family, our children, brothers and sisters, and it's just awesome. It's a blessing. It just opens the world for everything. To bring the love of tag to the community and introduce it to everyone, it's just a blessing in itself. It's awesome to sort of get out there and just do something we love to do.
Up next, it was the mixed final with New Zealand taking on Samoa. The quality of Tag20 was displayed in one of the first plays of the match. From the resulting play, the deadlock was broken. With a couple of awesome steps, the Samoans found the line. Not to be outdone by the fellas, the females showing some flair of their own. A huge dummy 10 metres out resulted in Samoa's second try. An intercept let New Zealand back into the match. No one was going to catch the speedy winger. With the match evenly poised, tempers began to flare. As the emotion simmered, a chip and chase levelled the scores. The score's even, heading into the second half. Samoa struck back through some crafty kicking. Then extending their lead through another decisive piece of play. And the celebration was almost as good as the setup. Sensing victory, Samoa continued to pile on the points. But to New Zealand's credit, they didn't go down without a fight and responded with a lovely piece of play. Battered and bruised, New Zealand got within a point, but were beaten by the clock. Samoa celebrate in style as they wrapped up their second finals win.
We just played New Zealand in the final. The score was 11-10. It was a little bit exciting in some places. We were up quite a bit and then we let them in. But thankfully the hooter went at the right time. So it was our I guess it was our insight into the holes that appeared out wide, and also our subbing box that were telling us where the holes were, which is something you can't really see on the field all the time. So I think that's what won us the game in the end, and of course the hooter went at the right time. Not only do you put on the jersey, you wear it for yourself, you wear it for your family, and you wear it for the village you come from back in Samoa, and that means a lot to us. As a Samoan culture, family means everything. It's been a really exciting tournament. I think we grew better and better every game. It was really exciting to play tag in another country. We usually just play in New Zealand and around New Zealand, but it was great to come here to your backyard and play the game. And in the heat as well, which was a bit challenging, but we got there in the end, so thank you very much for having us in your beautiful country.
Coming up, we'll bring you the men's under-20s final. Plus then, the match everybody's been waiting for, the Open men's final between Trans-Tasman rivals Australia and New Zealand. The men's under-20 finals showcased some of the sport's emerging talents. New Zealand ran out to a warm Samoan welcome. The match commenced with New Zealand scoring a three-pointer. A similar play, but with the same results, New Zealand crossed for their second. A slight swivel and show of pace led to Samoa's first points. A crafty play soon after had the scores level, as Samoa sliced open the New Zealand defence. The second half started off with a kicking display. A 40-20 put Samoa back into position to extend its lead. One, two, three dummies had the New Zealand defence in pieces. New Zealand hitting back immediately. Then a brilliant run to the line put New Zealand right back in the game. The match looked to be over, but a late rally from the Kiwis made for an interesting finish. But Samoa hung on to take the game 12-7 in a spectacular men's under-20s final.
Played a hard game against New Zealand today. Played them at the start of the year to qualify to come over here to Australia. We won that, and then we come over here and play them again in the finals with another hard game against them. Always a hard game against those guys. You know, they're young and they're fit, and they're real good with their hips in this game. So yeah, but you know, boys pulled up at the end with the win. So you know, good on the boys, and big up to those NZ boys. They played hard. You know, it means a lot to us, me and the boys. We've been training since for 3 weeks now, and all that mattered to us was to win with this jersey on there. You know, this logo means a lot to us. So to play with this is an honour, and yeah, we'd like to thank the Samoa coaches for selecting us boys to play for them.
It's the one we've all been waiting for, the Open Men's Final, where the elite showcase their talents. And the mouth-watering matchup couldn't have been scripted any better, with New Zealand facing trans-Tasman rivals Australia. A superb kick to get the ball rolling. Australia started strong, but New Zealand's defence stayed tight. Australia continued to pepper the Kiwi try line with nothing to show. Then a moment of Aussie brilliance finally broke the deadlock. New Zealand responded with a three-pointer of their own. Some crafty work by the number 11 levelled the match as tension mounted. A charging run fired up the Kiwis. And from the resulting play, New Zealand took the lead. A clever no-look grubber showed why New Zealand were the favourites heading into the match. Stretching the Australian defence resulted in this next try. A total team effort followed by some individual Tag20 brilliance had the Aussies on the back foot. The crowd watched on as the Kiwis ripped the Australian defence apart. New Zealand heading into the half-time break with the lead. With 10 minutes to turn things around, Australia came out firing in the second half, touching down soon after for a two-pointer. New Zealand were quick to strike back, showcasing a range of skills that had the crowd roaring. Moments later, the Kiwis thought they were in again. But the number 13 was tagged and pulled back to play the ball. Then a moment of individual brilliance mesmerised the Australian defence. And had the crowd on their feet as it was all going to plan for New Zealand. The lead continued to grow for New Zealand as they again exposed the right wing with another magical pass. A three-pointer looked to seal the match. But Australia weren't done yet. A lapse in defence for the Kiwis led Australia in for an easy two-pointer. Australia crossed again just moments later to bring them to within 6. But it turned out to be nothing more than 2 late consolation tries for the home side. New Zealand underlining their dominance with a 14-8 point victory. The crowd appreciating the quality of play. A touching moment to wrap up the inaugural Tag20 International Cup. New Zealand and Australia, fierce competitors on the pitch, but friends off. Finally, a moment everybody had been waiting for as the triumphant New Zealand team lined up for what appeared to be the haka.
To the left, to the right, let's get down and dance tonight. Up and down and around and around. Hoorah! Attention!
The New Zealand captains reflecting on the match in what was a hard-fought victory over Australia.
Just played Australia Open Men's in the final. Really tough game. They brought it to us. They started off better than us. We were a little bit slow, a little bit fatigued because of the 3 days, but we came through in the end. What do you reckon, Duds?
Yeah, it was a good start. Good start for the Aussies. Boys picked it up near the end. Great score in the end for a good result for us.
This is huge. I mean, a lot of us boys, you know, we come from Puriroa, Wellington, and wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to wear the New Zealand jersey. Coming over here has sort of opened the eyes of some of the boys. Had a lot of scouts who have come and watched, and this is just a big opportunity to showcase our skills, you know, boys from Puriroa, New Zealand.
Congratulations to Samoa, the winner of the title. Five grand final appearances, one semi-final appearance, all resulting in 2 championship wins and 2 runner-up titles. A sensational effort across the board by Samoa. A powerhouse nation showing their dominance in the sport of Tag 20.
Talafalava, my name is Vaimoana Va'ai, this is Logan Wright, and this is Robbie Va'ai, and we're representing Samoa Tag 20. This cup is the overall winners of the International Cup, the first International Cup at the Gold Coast. We brought over from New Zealand 5 Samoa tag teams, our women's team, our premiers, which is the 30s, our masters teams, the 35s, our mixed team, and our 20s team. So yeah, hard work but worth it in the end. And we took out 3 grades today and came second in 2 grades.
As a 14-year-old, just got told to, turn up and play this new sport, and here we are a few years later, well, not a few years, but a long time down the road, and here we are, playing for Samoa, representing my country, and proud to do so. Every time you put it on, you're proud. You don't only represent your country, you represent your family, your friends, everyone who's just, brought you up in your, childhood, and the way you've been brought up as, as a Samoan, so just proud to be Samoan.
Haka is actually called the Sea of the Cold. It's a war dance as such. You've seen it, the New Zealand teams do it, New Zealand teams do it. For us, it's all about pride and our culture and what we are. So what we do is we express our feelings and we're ready to battle. So that's why we lay it down. We had all our teams participate in it. And at first, when they first came through it, it was a bit of a joke. But then when they're out on the playing field, it means much more than that. So it's just representing your country, all your families and friends, under the Samoa banner.
It's pretty much who we are, because we do a lot of things. All of us have extended families, so it's about the community pulling in and helping us. So us being here, we're representing, like Logan said, our family and our friends that have all helped us to be here. This is the first time teams have travelled internationally with the sport, and I take my hat off to Tag 20 for putting this together. To all the family, friends and communities that have made this happen, both here in Australia and back home in New Zealand. We hope that it grows more to other countries like South Africa, maybe Great Britain, to bring it, bring it all here and put it out there to the players, to the managers. It's a lot of hard work, but as you can see, it's worth it. Accolades like this, it's just absolutely worth it. It's first class.
What we're looking to do, we want to develop at an international level, and this is, as I said, being the it's the first in Australia, but it is probably the 8th international tournament that we've held, both now in New Zealand and now in Australia. But what we see in time is 3 to 4 years that we will develop the game at an international level, and then we'll develop into a World Cup. And rightfully, a World Cup, you give a title of a World Cup to a sport, then you need to be able to be representative of that, of those nations that want to be involved in it.